Hi there, in today's business review, I look at the finances and marketing strategy of the $115,000 per month moving company, Skinny Wimp Moving, based out of Phoenix, Arizona. In this video, I review the marketing strategy the moving company uses to find customers, and best of all, you can use this even if you don't have any experience in moving business or a marketing budget. Click on the link in the description below for everything I mentioned in this video, including the database I use to find revenue numbers, thousands of business just like Skinny Wimp Moving. Let's do this. If you're planning to start a moving business that takes people's furniture, clothing, personal items, sticks them into a truck, and then drives them from point A to point B, I want to let you know this is probably a bigger business idea than you may have thought. In fact, the moving industry is valued at a staggering $18.4 billion annual revenue in the United States. Best of all, there are tens of thousands of consumers out there who have had terrible experience working with moving companies in the past. This creates an opportunity for you to enter the market and provide a differentiated and better service. Here's what Skinny Wimp Moving has discovered every customer wants from a moving company. Take your notepad. Consumers want friendly, clean-cut movers. They don't want to feel like they're being robbed when the movers show up to their doorstep. Customers want a pricing structure that is simple, all-inclusive, just a flat hourly rate with no hidden fees. A lot of companies require customers to take inventory of literally every single thing in their home before providing an estimate. This is really hard based on my own experience. Customers want you naturally to show up on time. This seems pretty reasonable. And finally, customers want you to answer the phone, pick it up when you call, return emails. I'm, again, speaking from direct experience here. Try to call a moving company sometime, and you might be surprised at how hard it is to get someone to answer the phone and to actually just give you a quote. It's almost impossible sometimes. Most of these companies are so busy, they have trouble answering the phone and rarely get back to anyone. Don't expect anyone to follow up if you leave a message. If you can manage to differentiate yourself and just do this basic blocking and tackling, you're going to be one of the best service providers in your area. Doing these simple steps is literally what has allowed Skinny Wimp Moving to grow by 1,400% in their first 15 months of business. So how does Skinny Wimp Moving get customers? The first approach they use is in-person marketing, and you can start doing this with almost no budget right away. The owner of Skinny Wimp Moving in Phoenix is called Max Maher. Through my research, I actually learned that Max is a pretty big YouTuber in addition to business owner, with the channel approaching 1 million subscribers already. And one way that Max has drummed up business for his moving company is by simply knocking on doors of different businesses, sharing his business card, and explaining that he's looking for things to move, essentially. Basically, like I said, Max just walks into these businesses, strikes up a simple conversation, shares his card and a marketing pamphlet maybe. That's it. Max goes into detail into this process of speaking to businesses in this video, where he shares the highlights of connecting with 500 businesses that added an extra $30,000 in revenue to his company. And as you're gonna learn in the video too, which I thought was cool, being an overly gregarious person or outgoing is not something that came naturally to Max, which is really great news, especially if you're an introvert. Like me, you really can do this type of work. Another place that Max likes to visit in person is self-storage facilities, which I think is brilliant. There are at least 50 of these self-storage places within 10 miles of my house, and they are literally all full. And if you think about it, every day there are people moving junk in and out of these facilities. If you can build a relationship with just a few of these managers or owners of these properties, you could end up building a steady stream of business right there, just from that single source. Another way that Max finds customers is through advertising on Yelp. I wouldn't have thought of this, but Yelp, of course, is a review site that shares information about all sorts of local businesses, from restaurants to plumbers, and yes, even moving companies too. If you're willing to spend a few $100s to $1,000 on marketing each month, reach out to Yelp and get to know what they have to offer. Most companies in your area, either they're not going to understand online marketing or they won't be willing to spend anything on advertising. So really think this is a great way to stand out from the local competition when you're starting out. Finally, local Facebook groups can be huge for finding moving business. I spoke with the owner of a busy moving company in my area and discovered that they get almost all their business from local Facebook groups like this one I'm going to show on the screen here called Bailing to Boise. This is a Facebook group dedicated to helping people prepare for a move to Boise. There are similar Facebook groups like this for almost every major market though. If you live in an area where there are a lot of people moving in from outside the state or from other towns, participating in these local Facebook groups might be the only thing you need to do to get started with this business. To stand out in these groups, all you really need to do is provide moving tips, advice about different neighborhoods, and just to answer basic questions about the community that you already live in. That's all you need to do to be helpful. Next, let's move on to the software and tools you're going to need to start a moving company. If you plan to start a moving company, there's some standard issue equipment you're going to need. Items like a dolly, a furniture dolly, moving blankets, moving straps, and of course a truck or a van. I'll link to a full list of essential moving equipment below in this video so that you know what you're going to need to invest in. The next is invoicing software. This software allows you to send a professional looking invoice to customers by email and allow them to pay by credit card or check if they want. One simple option that I really like is called Zoho.com, but another option when starting out is just to use PayPal to send an invoice. You can edit your invoices with a company logo, contact information. So PayPal is another good way to pay for your first few moving jobs or get paid for your first few moving jobs if you don't want to pay for a monthly subscription. Next, of course, you're going to need a website with appealing photos. An effective website doesn't need to be complicated, but it should include unique photos of you smiling, moving stuff around, moving boxes. This is going to help you build trust. Again, focus on those photos where you look clean cut. Also, don't forget to include an email address, telephone number, and other contact information so that visitors can reach out to you when getting a quote, and make sure to pick up the phone when they actually call too. Try to make the quote process as easy and as fast as possible for the prospective customer. Collect basic info like the number of rooms a customer needs moved, their telephone number, what their email address is, but don't make the online form take so long that it discourages someone from asking for a quote. Make the quote process, again, as easy, simple, and as fast for the customer as you possibly can. You can always adjust the quote price later if you discover the job is larger than expected, but just make sure you get the contact information from the buyer first, and then just try to overquote a little bit, and that's gonna help give you a little wiggle room there. I would also consider creating an LLC for your moving business to protect your personal assets in the event you get sued. After all, when you're driving trucks, you're shipping things from great distances a lot of times. There's a lot that can happen in between there. I added a link where I got my LLC formed for $49 plus state fees in the description below. Now, here's what I like about the moving business. Bottom line, I love that a moving company is one of those scrappy ventures that can be started on a minimal budget or on the weekend while you're holding down a full-time job still. But with that being said, you can start small, but there's the opportunity to grow that business really big and make an incredible income if you start bringing in more than 100K in gross monthly revenue like Skinny Wimp Moving Company has been able to do. That's a great thing. Now, for your first few jobs, you could easily rent a truck from U-Haul and get the business started this way without actually owning a vehicle. And you can get started even if you don't have any money to invest in the business if you're willing to hustle a little bit and do a little bit of the heavy lifting yourself at first. I also like that this is a business, again, that you can grow. There's a company that operates locally where I live in Idaho that sends out between 5 to 10 trucks each week out to other states like California and Washington. If you could hit this sort of volume, you could certainly end up netting in the 20K per month range after expenses, which is pretty sweet. Of course, the big challenges you're going to be focused on as a business owner, what you're going to be in charge of solving is the marketing problem. You're going to need to ensure you've always got that steady stream of customers requesting move quotes. So make sure that you create a local marketing plan to ensure you've always got a customer pipeline coming through. Next, if you want to grow the company, you'll need to hire employees. If you want to move beyond a single truck and being a sole operator, If you want to make big money in this industry, just the bottom line is you're going to have to start relying on employees to drive and load trucks. You can't be everywhere at once. You're going to need to develop some basic skills in hiring, managing people to make this business work. Finally, you're going to need to develop systems for communicating with potential customers. Try to make the process of onboarding customers and getting paid as seamless as possible. Remember, you really can make more than $1 million in revenue per year with a moving business, but you're gonna need to get really good at marketing and people management and customer communication to build one of these best in breed moving businesses like Skinny Wimp Moving Company has been able to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps me get the word out about this channel and will make sure you know about new videos that come out with revenue numbers for all sorts of different types of businesses. Thanks so much for watching.